Evelyn, a young and ambitious researcher, driven by a desire to debunk local myths, ventured into the Whispering Woods, a place steeped in ancient, chilling folklore. Her mission was clear: to prove that the terrifying legends surrounding the forest were nothing more than superstitious tales spun to frighten children. Armed with a state-of-the-art digital recorder, a high-definition camera, and a healthy dose of skepticism, she stepped under the dense canopy, leaving the sunlit world behind. Initially, the forest behaved as any other. The air was cool and damp, filled with the earthy scent of decaying leaves and pine. Birds chirped from unseen branches, and the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind was the only sound that broke the profound silence. Evelyn documented her progress, speaking into her recorder with a confident, almost dismissive tone, noting the normalcy of her surroundings. She felt a sense of vindication, believing her work would be straightforward. However, as the hours passed and she pushed deeper into the heart of the woods, the atmosphere began to shift in subtle, unsettling ways. The birdsong faded, replaced by an oppressive silence that seemed to swallow all sound. A thick, unnatural mist coiled around the ancient tree trunks, reducing visibility to mere feet and distorting the familiar shapes of the forest into grotesque, unfamiliar forms. It was then that the first anomaly occurred. While reviewing an audio recording, Evelyn's blood ran cold. Beneath the sound of her own voice detailing the local flora, a faint, disembodied whisper could be heard, a string of unintelligible words that had not been there when she recorded it. Startled, she scanned the dense fog, her heart hammering against her ribs, but saw nothing. Dismissing it as an auditory illusion or radio interference, she pressed on, though a seed of unease had been planted. The strange phenomena escalated. Fleeting, human-like shadows danced at the edge of her vision, darting between the trees just as she turned to look, always too quick to be properly seen. They were like phantoms in the mist. Their presence felt more than seen, raising the hairs on the back of her neck. As dusk began to settle, painting the woods in shades of gray and deep indigo, a more bizarre sight greeted her. Placed intermittently along the overgrown path ahead were old-fashioned oil lamps, their flames flickering with a soft, hypnotic glow. They weren't there before. They seemed to be waiting for her, lighting a path that led deeper into the suffocating darkness, an invitation she felt compelled yet terrified to accept. Each lamp she passed felt like a milestone, drawing her further away from the safety of the known world and into the clutches of the forest's sinister secret. Guided by the ghostly light of the lamps, she stumbled upon a clearing. In its center stood a dilapidated wooden house, so weathered and consumed by moss and ivy that it seemed to be an organic part of the forest itself. The structure groaned under its own weight, a picture of utter desolation. Pushing open the creaking, swollen door, Evelyn stepped into a scene of decaying chaos. The air inside was thick with the smell of dust and rot. The floor was littered with crudely made straw dolls, their button eyes staring blankly into the gloom, their stitched smiles appearing as malevolent grins in the flickering beam of her flashlight. On a rickety table in the corner, covered in a thick layer of dust, lay an ancient leather-bound diary. Its pages were brittle and yellowed with age, filled with frantic, spidery handwriting. With trembling hands, Evelyn opened the diary. The ink was faded, but the message was terrifyingly clear. It spoke of an ancient guardian, a spirit bound to the woods, and a single, inviolable rule. The entry read, "This forest does not forgive. It does not forget. Its roots are its veins, its branches its limbs. Whoever harms the trees, whoever cuts down even a single branch, will be claimed by the guardian. Their soul will be imprisoned here forever, a new root to nourish the ancient anger." A jolt of pure terror shot through Evelyn. Her mind flashed back to that morning, to a moment of casual thoughtlessness. A large, gnarled branch had blocked her intended path. Impatient, she had taken out her small hand axe and hacked it away. the sharp cracks of the breaking wood echoing through the then peaceful woods. She hadn't given it a second thought. Now, the memory returned with sickening, horrifying clarity. She had broken the rule. She had cut down a part of the forest. The moment this realization crashed down upon her, the diary fell from her numb fingers. A deep, guttural groan echoed from the very ground beneath her feet, and the house trembled violently. Outside, the forest began to transform into a living nightmare. The mist swirled with a newfound aggression, and the ancient, gnarled trunks of the trees warped and twisted. Their bark split and peeled back to reveal grotesque, screaming human faces, their eyes wide with eternal agony, their mouths agape in silent screams. They were the faces of the lost, the others who had been claimed. A cold, spectral wind whipped through the clearing, carrying with it a sibilant, overlapping whisper that seemed to come from everywhere at once. And then a shadow detached itself from the largest, most ancient oak. It coalesced into the ethereal form of a woman, her figure translucent and shimmering with a pale, ghostly light. Her eyes burned with an ancient, sorrowful rage as she drifted towards the house, her voice a chilling whisper that pierced Evelyn's soul. "She cut down my tree. She is mine now, ... double quotes. The following morning, when Evelyn failed to check in, a rescue team was dispatched. They followed her trail into the eerie silence of the whispering woods, their calls echoing unanswered through the dense trees. They found her campsite easily. The tent was still standing, her research equipment neatly arranged, and her abandoned camera lay on the damp ground, its lens pointed towards the dark heart of the forest. But of Evelyn, there was no trace. She had vanished completely. As the team packed up her belongings, a profound sense of being watched settled over them. They looked up towards the impenetrable wall of trees that surrounded the clearing. There, hidden in the deep shadows between the ancient trunks, dozens of pairs of luminous, glowing eyes stared back at them. They watched with a cold, patient hunger, silent sentinels of the cursed woods, signaling that the forest had claimed another soul, and its collection was far from complete.